Thank you, Tara. That was wonderful and a great reminder for us all, and it fits in very well with what I want to speak about this evening. I want to start by making some declarations. I'm not broken.
I'm not broken.
I'm not broken. I may be damaged, but I'm not broken. Fellow Coptics, honored guests, have you ever thought of yourself in your physical body as broken? Have you ever thought that maybe I'm damaged? Have you ever thought that, yeah, maybe I have an inner light, but it's starting to flicker and the bulb's beginning to burn out and it's too tough to reach up into the ceiling and get it out of the fixture. And just that light bulb just is starting to burn out. Have you ever felt that maybe I'm just one single individual person? What can I possibly do to make a change and a difference within the world? I'm just one person. Have you ever had those thoughts? Ever thought in those terms before? What I'm going to speak about tonight is how we view ourselves and how our self-image impacts us, how it impacts us physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And how if we might make just a few small changes, that we might be able to, one, raise our own self-image, and how raising our self-image affects other people around us, and how other people see it, and how that eventually gets out into the world and it changes world consciousness. That might sound like a tall order, but I don't really think that it is. If we start by saying, I'm not broken, and you think about how do you view yourself and what does it mean to say, I'm not broken? Let's start by looking at the dictionary definition of broken. Merriam-Webster's dictionary says that broken is having been fractured or damaged and no longer in one piece or in working order. What do we do with something that's broken?
Fix it. Repair it or throw it out.
Fix it.
Raise it up.
You repair it or
Toss
throw it
it or toss it out.
out. Or repair it.
Usually broken means that it's beyond repair. Beyond repair, so we toss it out. It becomes trash. We kick it to the curb, and hopefully somebody comes and picks it up from the curb and it just doesn't sit there, but that's the intention, is that it becomes trash. We kick it to the curb. So what happens if we view our own body as broken? What do? We have a negative self-image of ourselves, and we consider it to be broken. We consider it to be trash, and we have this negative image of ourselves. And what could be farther from the truth than to think that we have no value? That's what trash is. Trash in something is broken becomes something that has no value to us, and we want to get rid of it and be done with it and have it taken away from us. I implore that we never see ourselves that way and we never apply that to our own body, because we are never broken. We always have value. No matter what happens to us or what we do, we're not broken. We always have some value.
Amen. Yes.
Right, that's it. I do suggest that maybe you might think of yourself, though, as damaged. Damaged, in the dictionary definition, is injury or harm reducing the value or usefulness. Injury or harm that impairs appearance, value, usefulness, or soundness. Now that might seem strange for me to say that it is good for you to consider yourself as damaged. When I first started thinking about this topic and I was given this message, and it started out with, I'm not broken. I may be damaged, but I'm not broken. I could understand, okay, yeah, I'm not broken, right? You know, I have value, trash, all of that stuff. But then I started to get the message to say, I may be damaged. And people would look at me and say, no, we're not damaged and we shouldn't see ourselves as damaged. But I'm thinking that we should. Because what is damaged? Damaged means that, yeah, there's a little flaw, there's an imperfection, I can see that. But I still have value, or it still has value. If you look at something like, say, a cherished toy, a teddy bear, for instance, do you have that image in your mind of the old teddy bear with the one eye that's, ripped off, the button eye is missing, and its fur is matted, right, and it's a little discolored, maybe even dirty, but yet we still keep it because it still has value to us. And it has memories and cherished. It did its job, but it still has usefulness. And we still keep it. It may be damaged, but we still keep it. I once had an incident happen to me. I had been working out in the gym, and I started to get lightheaded. And I stepped outside in order to get some fresh air. I leaned up against the wall, the exterior wall. And by leaned up, I mean I pressed my face against the wall to hold me up. And unfortunately, I still continued to faint. And I slid down the wall. And I ended up scratching the side of my face, my ear, even my inner ear. I mean, who does that? Fortunately, the building with the exercise equipment was right outside from the hospital, and somebody saw me go down and they wheeled me over, and when I came to, I was being well taken care of. And it wasn't any problem, I just had scratches on the side of my face. Well, I decided that I still had value, I still had some usefulness, I still had some soundness. I was impaired, physically, my appearance was impaired, but I still had enough soundness that I went to work the next day. I'm there at work and I'm having a conversation with a co-worker, and another co-worker comes in and he looks at me and he sees my face for the first time and he says, "Oh my, you're damaged." And the other co-worker was indignant at that. She says, "Well, what an awful thing to say. How terrible to tell somebody they're damaged." But I thought, no, I am. I had something wrong with my physical appearance. It was impaired, invisibly so. And I couldn't deny that, and I couldn't hide it. And it really didn't matter. It was what happened. But I was fortunate that that was all that happened, and there wasn't anything else other than what appeared on the outside. So I decided to accept that comment, that that's what it was and what had happened. And I moved on from that, and I didn't think too much of it. I healed up and everything was fine. And I didn't think too much of it until I started to think about my message tonight and started to think that I'm not broken. I may be damaged, but I'm not broken. And that maybe we should instead embrace damage and embrace that as a description to us, because we all have some sort of flaw, right? Some sort of flaw. But we still have value. And it just is a fact of life. but also that it relieves the pressure from us to be perfect and to accept our flaws. But what do those flaws represent? To me, it represents life, and it represents having lived, and it represents having lived, and hopefully it's from doing something that you like and enjoy and get great pleasure from. So we can all say that, yes, I have an imperfection, I am damaged, and I am grateful for having the opportunity to have this physical body and be a spiritual being here to have a human experience within this damaged physical body. And I have something to show for the life that I have lived. So that would be the physical and the mental way to look at ourselves and to hold ourselves and have a self-image, would be to say I'm not broken, I am damaged, and to embrace that. The spiritual way to view ourselves would be to see ourselves as God sees us. And how is that? How do we perceive God, and how do we think that he, it, she, some of us would say she, perceives us? I believe that God sees us as perfect, and not so much perfect, but as just a light, a bright light. No physical body, nothing matters. The outside doesn't matter. This doesn't matter, this doesn't matter. None of it matters to God. The only thing that matters to God is how bright does our light shine. And our light always shines. We are not like a light bulb that burns out. Our light never burns out to God. It only burns out in our own mind and our own thoughts. And we are always a bright light shining. The only question is, how bright is our light going to shine? Not if or does it, but how bright will you allow your own light to shine? Recently, I had an accident, and I was bike riding in North Carolina. And I wiped out on the bike. I came down primarily on my face. Cut my eye, had a black eye. It was really an exciting time.
You were damaged.
I was damaged. I was visibly damaged. I really was. I did discover that I had multiple facial fractures, and they had to insert metal plates. I won't get dramatic. I told myself I wasn't going to get dramatic, but I will anyway. They put the metal plates into my face. It was, a minor surgery to them, to the doctors that I spoke to. Took less than an hour. They did that. But I was really concerned once the physical things were taken care of. I was really concerned at how I was going to look. It's like, okay, am I going to be scarred for life? What I figured was that, hey, I'm 52. I have 40 more years in this body. What am I going to do every morning when I look into the mirror and see this? What am I, how am I going to live with this? How am I going to handle this? How can I do this? And then I received a message. And that message was, you can never destroy your inner light.
Amen.
Right.
True.
You can never destroy inner beauty. It's just not possible. You cannot destroy inner beauty. And that is the only thing that matters, and that is the only thing that God sees, and that is your inner light. We have to remember that, and that is what is important. It's not about this physical body. It's certainly not about your face. It's not about the rest of your body. It's about what's inside, and you can never destroy what is inside.
Amen.
So once you have that within your image and within your mind, that it's only about your inner light, and you live that way, and you live that light, and you live to make that light brighter, that benefits you, right? I mean, you're living in the light. But what does it do for other people? Other people see that light. We're like moths, drawn to the light, right? You know, we flock to the light. Your smile. I'm drawn to your smile, right? That's what happens with people. So if we grow our light and shine our light bright within us, other people are going to see that light. They're going to be attracted to that light. And then they too will shine their light brighter. And it will enlighten us all. And it will enlighten the world. Does that make sense? Do we see that as happening? And do we see that as something that we can do ourselves? And I'm suggesting that we can do that just by changing our mindset. And just by changing how we view ourselves, how we view the world around us, and how we shine our inner light. What I have begun doing is my own set of declarations. And it begins, I'm not broken. I am damaged. My inner light shines bright. My light shines out into the world. And I'm going to ask you all now to stand and declare these things for yourself. And it's important that we do the arm motions too. It's arms down, across our chest, up by our ears, and up into the light, okay? I'm not broken. I am damaged. My light shines bright within me. My light shines out into the world. One more time. I'm not broken. I am damaged. My light shines bright within me. My light shines out into the world. One more time. I'm not broken. I am damaged. My light shines bright within me. My light shines out into the world. Wonderful. In closing, I'm just going to suggest that you change your mindset, change your life, and change the world. Michael?